Hello, guys. Welcome back to Lunatic Astrology. I'm your astrologer, Lori Lothian. And today we're talking about this fabulous, profoundly healing and auspicious full Libra moon coming up on the 28th of the merry month of March. And you know what? This is a bit of a sweet spot in the sky because of some of the asteroids that are going to be here. And it does have a little grit in there, but it's also got a lot of grace. So get ready to look at the sky with me. We're going to talk about the big picture sky, what my thoughts are about what this particular full moon offers us. And then I'll do the, as always, all signs portion of the reading, timestamp below. Always double check for your ascendant. That's the most accurate, your rising sign. You always go to astro.com or AstroSeek, any of those free sites, put all your data in. You need to know your birth time. You'll get your rising sign. If you're born at night when the sun's below the ascendant descendant line, then of course your moon might be a little bit more accurate to listen to, your moon sign and your sun sign if you're born in the daytime. Before we begin talking about this moon, check the description box below. Guess what? I'm giving away my 2021 all signs readings. They're 60 minutes each videos. You get access to them and they're free. I mean, I sold them, but now that we're, a quarter of the way, third of the way through the year, quarter of the way through the year, I'm just giving them away. So please check the box below. You can grab them for yourself and hopefully enjoy them and share them with friends. Okay, so let's get going. First of all, the Libra full moon. I want you to always think of every full moon as somehow connected to the prior new moon in the same sign. So go back to your life in October of 2000 and I think it was around October 16th of 2020. So kind of October 16th-ish, add a couple of weeks, and whatever was going on in your life around that time could be coming to some kind of fruiting or fullness or fruition on this particular full moon. So always look back 6 months before to see what the last new moon in the same sign, what was happening in your life then. Now, this is a moon that has a couple of really juicy asteroids on it, plus Venus, plus Chiron. So it's a bit of a mashup, really. It's very intense that way. And I will be showing you the sky chart in a short few minutes, but let me just make a few assumptions here. So it's the moon sitting in the sign of Libra, conjunct the asteroid Makemake, and across the way, the sun, Chiron, all bundled together at 8 degrees. This was an 8-degree moon in the sky, just so you know. And this sun and the moon bundled together with a couple of minor asteroids as well. In this case, the sun is also, sorry, I should say Venus is also conjunct. Two asteroids that I really haven't used a lot. One is Vulcano, her husband. Okay, so this asteroid represents the husband of Venus in Greek mythology. And if you know anything about her husband, he was basically a forger, a blacksmith, a maker of sacred jewelry. He made Venus's sacred magical girdle or whatever it was, girdle or corset. I think he forged the thunderbolts of Zeus, but he was basically like a blacksmith and a forgeman. And he was kind of ordinary. And she was always flirting around and having affairs on him with Aries or Mars, the god of war. But it was her husband. It was the betrothed husband of the goddess of love, art, and beauty. And in a way, when you think about the fact that Venus and her betrothed are sitting together on a Libra, like next to the sun across on the Libra moon, this could be portending a divinely orchestrated love story. So if you are a single person, and this also depends, of course, on where this Libra moon falls in your chart, but it could point to the beginning of a very magical, very deeply connected divine union with some other person romantically. Now, it also can mean that there's something to do with wanting to forge something in your life, and Venus would make it to do with the love, art, and beauty and money story. And so forging something in love, art, and money in your life, and the moon in Libra showing where this forging will show out picture, where it will come to pass. Like, for example, in my Libra house, it's a house of foreign lands or international or books and book publishing, wisdom and knowledge. Well, it kind of fits because I'm forging a fiction book. Yes, I'm going to write that damn thing. I'm forging another ninth house meaning. I'm creating something called the Athenaeum. Stay tuned. It's going to be mostly either a membership or a lot of free content online, a school for astrology and other divinatory arts. And I'm going to be building that on Kajabi back in the back end stuff in April, so I can launch it in May. So stay tuned for that too. But you can see I'm forging the Forge Smith, these kinds of Venusian things in my Libra house. So that, yes, there is activation of the forging energy in Libra. Wherever Libra falls in your chart, it's the Forge Smith and Venus and the Sun and Chiron, the wounded healer, bundled up in this across the way in the opposite sign of Aries, but sending light to wherever that moon goes, or the moon reflecting the light of that sun where that moon sits. So the action spot is Libra, okay? But the germination and energy is coming from Aries, you know, pioneering, bold, adventure, go-getter, initiative, upstart, originality, all good Aries words. And I am an Aries, guys, Aries sun, moon, and Mercury. I've got a lot of Aries going on. It's a very intense time. In fact, this 8-degree sun is right on my natal moon. So believe me, I can really feel this one coming. Like this, wow, this full moon feels very intense for me. So now I also would say, because of Chiron so proximate to the Sun, Moon, Venus pileup, okay, that intensity there, my feeling is that there could be a deep, profound healing with Chiron in some area of your life that outpictures in Libra. So, you know, healing the wounds with Libra is often primary love relationship. Libra rules the one-on-one love stories, but it can also be a legal affair, a justice, a fairness thing, coming to some kind of healing, equality. You know, the Libra or the scales of justice. Libra, also library Libra book. If you are like me, a writer, and there's this outpicturing in Libra, it could also be about the idea of getting that darn book written. All right, so what else? There's another minor asteroid that I never have like really investigated, but I'd be remiss if I didn't point it out. It's from Hawaii, and it's going to be like Leiliakauna. I can't even say it. Leiliakuhonua. Okay. Now it's a Hawaiian myth, and it's a creation. It comes from a creation chant. It's associated with the migratory flight of birds. And it has to do with longing for one's true home, like migrating to one's true home, being homesick for one's true home. There could be a feeling that you feel in the fullness of this moon with this asteroid sitting conjunct Venus across the way in Aries, that it could reflect in the light of the Libra space in your chart, a homesickness. And I almost kind of feel like when I was reading about this asteroid, you know, that it has something to do with the innocence, almost like the Garden of Eden feeling, you know, to come back to a place of homecoming within our lives or ourselves. So I'll address those in the all signs. Mostly in the all signs, I'm really going to just talk about where does this moon outpicture the desire for homecoming, the return to home, the ebbing of a homesickness. Where does it represent what you want to forge in your life that may be brand new, and what do you want to heal? Now, there are other things going on in the sky at the same time. Primarily, Mars is just broken free of the Kala Sarpa yoga. That is where everybody got squished together. All of the planets on one side of the south and north node. That began in December, at the end of December 2020, when Venus crossed the south node, and now all of the major planets were on one side of the south north node axis, so on one half of the chart. Now that's a malefic or a difficult or a challenging condition for the world. We saw the insurrection in the United States. We saw pandemic escalations. You know, all of these things can happen when there's this kind of Kala Sarpa yoga, especially the one that we had just now, which everybody was just in front of the south node, tends to incite plagues. We already had one, but it didn't make it better, for sure. Although now the vaccine rollout could be helping. And as Mars is breaking free of the north node, like a sprinter, running at it and jumping over a wall. Okay, think of it, or like a prisoner jailbreaking from the Kala Sarpa yoga. This is happening as this moon also happens. Technically, Mars begins to break free 2 days before the moon, but it's still a part of the narrative that's in the sky. And this is happening in the land of Gemini, whereas the moon is in Libra and the sun, of course, is in Aries. And when you think about that, that creates a wedge in the sky, or that creates a sextile from the sun and a trine from the moon. And that can be very, very positive. So it's almost like as Mars jailbreaks out of this condition of restriction and imprisonment behind the nodes, he's going to bring positive action, positive momentum, positive decisions, in Gemini in your chart, wherever Gemini sits. Maybe I'll touch on that really briefly in the all signs as well. So let's go ahead and look at the chart so you guys know what I'm seeing, so that as I sort of describe that to you from my memory, I can give you a visual. So you can see in this visual, I hope, let me expand the size of that for us. You can see that here is the moon, as I said, in Libra at 8 degrees. There's this pile up over here. Now, I should have taken Ceres out. It's just going to confuse you. Sorry about that. Just ignore the fact that there's another asteroid here. I won't be addressing this asteroid. I'll take it out just because I don't think it's making a huge story difference in this particular sky. There, I got rid of it. I hope that I got rid of it. So what I want to say is that these three, plus Venus, who is sitting really, really close as the furthest out on the other side of her, is, the asteroid of the homesickness that I can't say, Lalia Kuhona Ua, and also the asteroid Vulcano, the husband of forgesmith of the gods, the husband of Venus. So her husband's right beside her. I mean, you can't ask for anything kind of cooler when the whole energy outpictures here in Libra, the sign of connected relationship. Now, this is set, this particular chart set for the time of the moon in Montreal, where I live. So you can always set any lunar chart, like full new moon, for where you live. And for me, it's happening during a Leo rising. So, then you can begin to suss this out in terms of, wow, the energies here are Leonine in the sky as this moon happens. All right. Now, what I also want to point out, and I didn't even mean to leave Mercury in here. See what I mean, guys? I left a bunch of characters in here that I wasn't thinking I was going to leave in here. That's kind of funny. But you can still see that the sun is pointing over here to the Mars North Node storyline, and that moon as well. And that's a trine. And I don't know why I didn't draw the wedge that was in there, but there is a wedge. So the idea of a wedge is simply that there's kinetic energy building from the moon and the sun. Okay, let's call it to the north, to Mars breaking the boundary of the North Node. And believe me, everybody else is piled up behind here right now, more or less, except an asteroid named Vesta, but I'm not going to complicate the narrative. And basically, you can see that breaking free now, 2 degrees past the North Node, and the North Node separating as it moves this way from Mars as well. So they're moving away from each other in essence. And then you see that this energy is applying and energetically sextiling this momentum that Mars is creating, and then trining from the moon. So we see in the sky the sense of the kinetic energy between the sun and moon in opposition. This like tension is broken by Mars. Mars is kind of the releaser of the tension. And that's pretty kind of, exciting. Oh, there's the wedge. I can see it now. I think it might be easier if I just take the South Node out. I just gotta keep playing with my software, and then you'll see it much more clearly. It's kind of a washy version because the line is very light. There it is. There we go. Now you see what I'm talking about. So, every full moon is tension between the sun and the moon, but it's also the reflecting light of what's going on where the sun sits into the place where the moon sits. Okay. And you can see here, though, that there's a kind of peaking energy of a kinetic release where Mars sits as well. And so I will go into the all signs and talk about how Mars might fortify this energy. Mars is pretty close to a star named Rigel at the time of this moon as well. Excuse me, I gotta take a drink of water. And Rigel can bring business enterprise, luck, and opportunity to our lives. So there's also this Mars breaking through near a star that promises something really positive. Okay, so let's finalize this story before I do the all signs. If I was to say what this offers for the world, it offers a chance to heal, something to do with fairness and justice. And so you may see a lot of legal cases coming up that have been waylaid or that have been off the radar of the public that are suddenly coming into the forefront. There will be a strong desire for things to be equal and fair in a healing and wholesome way, and forging some new legal agreements or treaties. You may see in the world new peace treaties coming to the forefront, new agreements between nations that we didn't expect. You know what I mean? Like there's tension everywhere. Like, is China going to invade Taiwan? And China's having a big falling out with Canadians right now and our government. But we might see some surprising resolutions coming as this is breaking free, this Mars, and bringing luck and opportunity, as the Forge Smith is saying, I want to forge something in the area of courts or legal action, justice, as well as primary one-on-one unions, partnerships, and love relationships, Libra. So there's that. And, you know, when we talk about things in the justice area, it can be actual courts or just a sense of equitable and fair. You know, there was this bout of shootings in the United States, and that's Mars on the node as he approached the North Node and being inflamed. And the third house, Gemini is a natural ruler of the third house, and that tends to be in the local neighborhood. So we saw these like Atlanta and Boulder shootings, and Mars is the god of guns, right? And war and battle and conflict. And so here he was heating up as he approached the inflammation and the blowing up of the North Node. And now he's leaving. And as he leaves this trail of disaster behind him, tragic loss of life, what will come next? Well, Mercury ruled Gemini, likes to negotiate and argue and debate. And this is law. And you can just bet your booty that the anti-gun lobbyists and the gun safety law people are going to really kick up a storm this time. And maybe there will be some legislative change finally in the United States that makes getting a gun, I think it was Stephen Colbert said something like, it's harder to vote than it is to get a gun right now, according to the Republican doctrine, you know? So same day gun purchases seems insane to me, for example, and legislating nationally that's just not available to people. And the guy had an AK-17 or something, assault rifle, who shot people in Boulder. Hello, that's the weapon of mass personal destruction. So anyway, I'm a Canadian, guys, so don't tell me your first and second and third right amendments. I'm just a Canadian opining from the other side of the border. It's still not open. All right. Enough of that. So changes in gun laws, seeing court cases come up, seeing fairness, seeing equitability. Maybe some incredible new books will be coming out, Libra, that just rock the world over the next few months. Okay, we shall see. But we're getting breakthrough energy, opportunity, luck, and breakthrough. Okay, so let's do the all signs. Now, I'm going to start with Aries this time. I know I didn't last time. I started with, you know what? I'll just mix it up. I'm going to mix it up. We'll start with Leo. Leo's on my screen. Let's go where we are at. We're at. My time stamper is my daughter. I'll tell her to keep it in the order of the way I'm talking. So Leo, you guys are having this incredibly potent healing, lovey-dovey, love is in the air, fairness and justice moon, landing in your third house of your local friendships, your neighborhood, trips and travel you might want to take domestically, education if it's skills-based learning. So for some of you, Leo, sun, moon, and ascendants, you may be learning something that you can use as an active skill in the world. You may also be traveling or taking a short trip of some kind. I don't know what that is on my screen. Excuse me. I hope you guys don't see what I see. I have like this strange bar on my screen. Now, let me see if I can fix it. Isn't it funny? I've never seen this before. Let me see. Huh. Oh, well, hopefully it's not in your way. And also, siblings, some of you Leo, sun, moon, and especially ascendants may have contact with a sibling in a very healing, forging something new way. And then there is this energy of kinetic momentum, breaking free, break on through to the other side. For you guys in the 11th house of great gains from your career, friends and allies as benefactors, your hopes, dreams, and wishes, the 11th house of good spirit. So this is like a sweet spot for you. And if you have a hope, dream, and wish you wish to actualize, things like local neighborhood or sibling or skills-based education can really help you create that true hope, dream, and wish. And a sibling could even help you actualize a hope, dream, and wish in the time of I'd say in the next month ahead. I like to give every full and new moon, you know, basically a 28-day orb until the next full or new moon. All right, moving on. And that seems to be how it works in realistic time when I look at people's real lives charts, okay, and my own. All right. Virgo, sun, moon, and especially rising sign, you can see that there is a lot of juice being poured into your financial second house, your second house of self-worth, self-possession, things you own, money you make, And sometimes it's about your voice in the world, which can imply your vocation. It's also things you could eat or ingest. The second house is things that go in and out of our mouth. Now, I think the energy of the forge smith of the gods, what do you want to forge in your life, is going to create greater self-worth or also greater financial resources. What do you want to forge in your life that it's also more true to your true voice or your vocation? Where are you feeling homesick and reminiscent and nostalgic for some true sweet place that could be about that second house, you know? Also, I feel that the healing energy that Chiron is bundling in there with the Venus is like, where could you possibly be healing a lost voice, a part of you that has gotten metaphysical laryngitis, you know? That could be a very important part of the story. You know, when the scales of justice are in a, when you're born, you guys, especially this is for the Virgo ascendants, you know, with Libra in your money house, your whole life is to find money balance, right? Especially earning self-worth and self-possession, not to go from riches to rags or from a pauper to a success story, trying to find this place of harmony, balance, ease, in your love, in your money story. So this is a moon that's bringing that balance, harmony, and ease back to you in a way that you may not be able to predict. With the energy coming, with the energy of breaking free in the 10th house, there is a suggestion, look at that trine, that Mars will offer you an opportunity in career or work that could help you with the financial breakthrough. And, you know, so of course the Sun and Venus and Chiron are in the house of your spouse's money, inheritance money, bank money, loans, debts. You know, given the moon is out picturing in the second, you could secure a great loan. You could pay off your credit card debt. You could get some bit of inheritance money coming, or your spouse may get a little bit of extra money and it will help you as well. Okay. So Libra, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. That's my daughter. I'm sorry, guys. I can't turn off my dinger now that it's on. Okay, sorry. That's so funny because my daughter is a Virgo rising. Oh my God. So we'll just let it ding, ding. So it's exciting for you guys who are the Libra risings, because look at that energy that you just got. 4 pings from my teenage or my 21-year, almost 20-year-old daughter. So there's ding, ding, ding energy, Libra, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. You're going to forge something in the house of your identity, balance in your physical body, balance in your way of being in the world, trying to find a balance and harmony within you, who you are right now. If you're like, you know, I'm all work, no play, that should balance out. Or I don't exercise anymore, I need to find healthier foods, that should balance out. Body, first house. You're also looking, Libra, Sun, Moon, and especially Ascendant, at this energetic, kinetic pile up in your house of marriage, business partnerships, and other. So perhaps Venus, next to her husband, the forge smith of the gods, is going to help you forge a new business alliance or a new partnership of some kind, or a new connection to your clients in a new way that's pioneering. You may also find that this could incite, if you're with somebody, finding a greater balance in that primary love relationship or business partnership. And if you're single, then this could perhaps begin a new love story that heals all the broken ones behind you. Chiron, right? Let's heal the broken-hearted love stories that you've had, and let's move in a new direction. And being homesick, right? The Hawaiian asteroid on Venus, being nostalgic and homesick for one's true home. And sometimes it can be very literal. According to this asteroid, we could move to find a better home. So maybe some of you Libra, Sun, Moon, and Ascendants are in the middle of relocating. I have a Libra Sun friend who's building her dream home kind of thing in Washington State. So there's this yearning for a real nest, a true home, and it's available. And the kinetic energy coming off of the trine and the sextile to Mars is breaking free onto the other side, jailbreaking the Kala Sarpa yoga, which you can't see now, but it would be available to visible if I put the whole bucket of planets on this side. This breaking free energy for you guys is in the 9th house of book publishing, foreign lands, foreign shores, truth, soul, wisdom, God, Dharma, one's true calling or purpose. So, and religion as well, but it's a very spiritual house, right? A Dharma house as well. So you could be having a breakthrough of clarity and momentum and directionality around any of those themes that participate in this moon, especially over the next 28 days. All right, moving on. So Virgo, sun, moon, and ascendant. You guys are going, sorry, Scorpio, excuse me. All right, I'm not even going to edit this. Scorpio, sun, moon, and ascendant. This is happening for you guys, all righty? This kinetic energy, this balancing of the scales, this desire for harmony within a deep part of your soul. This is your dreams at night, your reverie, your meditation, your inner life. It's also maybe where you undo yourself for addictions or bad habits, etc. And the moon in Libra is bringing balance to that part of your life. Now, you could clearly, it's also a house of foreign shores and revenue that we could generate from foreign shores. So if you're in the business of generating revenue from foreign shores, I mean, this is a balancing of that energy. Mostly things that fall in the 12th house are really subtle. So this is not going to rock your world. You know, this is going to be within you that you're forging some kind of forging. Remember the forge smith on Venus. Now this Venus, Chiron, Sun, the Hawaiian asteroid, and Vulcanus, the forge smith next to his wife. It's all in the house of work and livelihood and health protocols. So there's a lot of this. It could be about quitting an addiction or weaning back an addiction or balancing out some kind of, guilty pleasure that's not that good for you. It could also be about refining your work, especially the routines, the strategies, the means, the methods, and the daily routine of your work, and changing it up to something that's more harmonious and more in balance for you, as well as a feeling of forging something there, forging some new momentum and new directionality. And the momentum that you're going to get is in the money house, the 8th house. Now, that can be inheritance money, a loan, a grant. It can be your spouse's money picture, but that gets momentum. But, paying off credit cards, getting a loan, selling an asset or a possession like real estate sale, these kinds of energies are breaking free for you. And I will say that you could feel this in the next 28 days, that something really good is happening in the financial corner that may relieve you of some of the tension that is going on between your soulful inner life, contemplation and enlightenment even, and the work routines that may have been hard for you. I mean, Chiron there, right? You may feel like you're bogged down a bit and it's time to relieve yourself of some kind of drudgery or difficulty. This is called the house of slaves in the ancient tradition, as well as the house of the bad place. Anyway, the bad spirit kind of energy. Well, it's just not an easy house. And there we've got this pile up. Some people in Vedic astrology can be considered the house of karmic debt that you have to service. So relieving yourself of that place where you feel like you're a slave to something, and relieving yourself in order to be able to find that balance of your inner life and your sort of your deeper soulful self, and some money coming through in the next 28 days that may help you do that. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and ascendant. You're feeling this sense of wanting to create balance and harmony in your 11th house of friendships. These are your larger friends, circles, can be online or at a distance. These are your great gains from a career that you're doing, your financial ka-ching and reward for hard work that you're doing in some kind of livelihood or career passion. You could also find that this is a money luck house, and it's called the pennies from heaven's house. Pennies from heaven can bring some windfalls to you. If that's possible, and scales of justice are there. It could be a karmic windfall that's deserved. It is the house of our karmic reward, as opposed to the 6th house, our karmic debt. So we get the rewards in the 11th. And so looking at like the possibility of a financial bonus this month for some of you, Sagittarius, sun, moon, and ascendant. Now, this forge smith of the gods and this asteroid of nostalgia for home, this wounded healer wanting to heal something to do with love, home, nostalgia, Vulcanus to forge something new in the area of relationship to your children, relationships to your lover, beloved, your sex life. Those are to your muse, to your inspiration. Some healing is going on here. And maybe you are in a love relationship and it's feeling really wounded lately. And there's a call to bring some kind of balance and healing to it. Maybe you're in a relationship with one of your children that's strained or difficult. And this is a time to bring balance and healing to that. Kinetic momentum in the house of partnerships and marriage, and also the house of other. So sometimes it could literally be like, if you're in a romantic relationship and things are flagging, seeing a relationship counselor, house of other. But it could also be, if you're married, momentum breaking free of some constriction that really began in late December of 2020, where things felt really sludgy in your primary relationship. And now we get breakthrough energy. Okay. Now, breakthrough doesn't mean things stay together. Now, like, that's really tricky, right? If it's meant to end in this relationship, if you're in a romantic relationship, or even just a strange or difficult and challenging and combative child relationship, you can't leave a dependent child. But if it's an adult child, you can always, maybe if you can't heal it, you can also leave it, because maybe time out from that is good for you. The last thing I'd say is that legal negotiations and contracts can be very seventh house. And this is a Libra, like a scales of law. So possibly there's a breakthrough too, in which you sign some legal documents and paperwork that really benefits you. Capricorn, sun, moon, and ascendant. Wow. So you guys are going to find this kind of succor and sense of balance in your life, and harmony and reconciliation of something in the career zone. Now, you guys are always so obsessed with your material gain. Sometimes it's funny. I love Capricorn, so especially a rising sign, being prosperous, being materially successful, but you're all born Capricorn risings with Libra in your 10th house. And, Libra is a Venus ruled sign, and Venus really brings a higher order, of love, art, and beauty, and a divine justice into the story. And I'm wondering about, how you guys find that Venus in your 10th house as your 10th house ruler, as a general principle. With the moon here, okay, in Libra, there's forget, bowing to Venus. Venus is the owner of the real estate. You're going to find a couple of things could happen. You could be dealing Capricorn, sun, moon, and ascendants with a female in the workplace or a female in your career zone. And if so, this is a positive development. But you're also trying to heal some kind of very deep-rooted wounding in your 4th house. And in the way I like to see the 4th house, it is the house of the mother. So some of you Capricorn, sun, moon, and ascendants are dealing with ancestral line, family of origin, or mother healing energy that is going to be working its way through the forge smith of the gods, Venus and her husband, and the asteroid for the homesickness and the yearning for a true home, coming into the story from the place of the home. Some of you Capricorn people might be looking at relocating because of this intensity of this moon. Always go back to October, this case, I think October 16th, the new moon in Libra. What were you thinking about then with regards to home and career? There's tension here, right, between the two, with the moon opposing the sun. Some of you Capricorn, sun, moon, and especially rising signs are looking at questions about, where's my true home? And feeling like belonging and nesting into a true place is important. And then there's the career polarity. How do I bring balance to my career? And the kinetic energy of the moon in the 6th house of the workplace and health protocols, it does speak, Capricorns, to trying to find a resolution to this yearning for an anchor of love and harmony and peace regarding home and career, okay? And you get a little dinging from my incoming telephone messages as well. Everybody gets a little something today because I didn't turn my notifications off. So you are going to definitely find, likely in the next 28 days, a question of balance at work and momentum around getting that balance, as well as questions of home, and where home is where the heart is. Is that true for you? Do you feel at home where you live? To be determined. This is me, Aquarius, sun, moon, and ascendant. I am getting ready for this one, guys. So we Aquarians are dealing with the moon way over here in Libra, in our 9th house of foreign lands, book publishing. I talked about me earlier. Dharma, truth, God, religion. We do pilgrimages here. Dharma is our life purpose. And For some of us, it's going to be about it could be also higher education or learning. So for some of us, we could even be considering shining a light of what do we need to learn next? Is there some course of study we should be taking, especially if it's going to be a longer term with its like diplomas or certifications? And there is this bundle of energy in our third house of skills-based education, siblings, short trips and travel. This is social media platforms. This is self-expression. This is ideas we have. This is siblings. I said siblings. This is the house of the goddess. Oracles, diviners, and tarot card readers can go down here. So some of us may consult the oracle in the next month ahead. So the tension is putting us to focus on our ninth house from the forge smith of the gods and the healing energies down here with Chiron. And of course, the asteroid that I mentioned as well about feeling homesick. Like, it's funny, I'm traveling to my hometown, right? In April, just after this moon, a week after this, not even, like a few days after this moon. So I'm going to my home of origin. You can't make that up. And the trip was already planned. So I'm an Aquarius rising. So this is a house of short trips, right? And it's a driving trip. So what else? And my house of siblings, and I'll see my sister. So the kinetic energy of breaking some of this oppositional tension through the Mars breaking through the Kala Sarpa yoga confinement that's been in place since December 30th is in the house of play, fun, inspiration, romance, relationships to our children. Mars has been heating up as you approach the North Node here. Could have had tension with our children. We could have had lack of inspiration. We could have had burnout in our lives. Like, I've been feeling burned out. I told you guys this in my newsletter. If you follow me, I've worked harder than I've ever worked in my life during the last 14 months. And I kind of hit my mother of all walls creatively. I have no creative spark. I have no creative juice. I need to recharge my muse. And that is the recharging of the muse, right? Work my ass off a lot, and I create a lot of content for free, and I'm not complaining, but I just have to step back and get some more, muse-driven inspiration rather than being on a content creation treadmill. So some of us Aquarians might have been feeling burned out, and now there's a breaking free of Mars crossing through the Kala Sarpa yoga barrier and bringing us the possibility of momentum in love affairs and better relationships to our children. Money luck. This is a house of speculation. Buy your lottery ticket. Go to the casino, place a bet on the horses, whatever you do, because this is not financial advice. This is just saying, it's a lucky space of the chart. Okay. Speculative money luck. So there's momentum. If you own your own business, this is an entrepreneurial house. And so more momentum in your private business as well. And it's all kind of leading up to this kind of energy of how do you want to express that ninth house? I'm going to put my Athenium together. I think the online academy for the divinatory arts, that could be very much what this is getting me to do. I'll be creating the Kajabi site, doing the back end building of it during the month of April. That's like totally what the sky tells me to do. All right, next. Pisces, sun, moon, and ascendant. You guys are having a lot of need to balance your financial story or your spouse's money or all of that. This is bank loans, debts, investment monies, spousal money, inheritance money. So a lot of you Pisces, sun, moon, and ascendant are going to be bringing harmonious balance to that part of your life. As well as it could be intimacy and occult mysteries. You may want to dive deeper into the occult, arcane knowledge and wisdom traditions. Now, with a balance, so for example, my sister Cindy Lee of Blind Faith Tarot is now doing a 9-month apprenticeship in shamanic training with a great shaman, a friend of mine named Renee Barabeau. And she's balancing out her skill set of shamanism with her tuition and her Blind Faith Tarot readings. She's blind, yes. So there's an example. Now, you could also say that this sun, moon, and Chiron and Venus, the sun, Chiron, Venus, Vulcanus, and the asteroid, I'll try to say it, Lalia Kuhonua, the yearning for true home, homesickness, in the second house of one's voice, vocation, earning, self-possession, money that you make, is going to be a very important part of the next 28 days or so from this moon. And you may be healing, Chiron, a woundedness around your own self-worth, your own self-value, and your own true call. The word vocation and voice, and call kind of mean the call or to call, vocare. And so there's like, what is your true calling? And this is being healed. Now the kinetic and bringing you money as a result. The kinetic energy here, right, that we're seeing as Mars breaks free of the Kala Sarpa yoga is in your natal 4th house of home and real estate. Now, certainly that can mean like breaking on through to the final decision to renovate the house that you've been stalled on, or to build an addition to the house, or to move into a new house, or to sell your house, okay, or to break away from ancestral family patterns, especially ones that your mother demonstrated. And this stuckness that started in the end of December is now breaking free. So think of it that way as well. And also go back to October, mid-October of 2020, and what things were happening then, because that was recapitulated by the new moon in Libra. And looking at your financial situation in October of 2020, did you have some good money breakthroughs? Did you take a windfall in? Did you get some money coming to you from a sale of an asset in October? Go back and look, because if you did, there's a continuation and a fullness and a furtherance of that story right now. Aries, sun, moon, and ascendant. And you guys know, if you listen long enough to me, I am an Aries sun and a moon. So Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign, we have a lot of tension going on here between our 1st and 7th house. Now, this moon is out picturing something in the house of business partnerships and the house of committed love. So there's a quality here of desiring balance, or to bring into our lives this quality of partnership. And yet, as well, we have to heal something in ourselves, because Chiron, Sun, and Venus are in the 1st house of identity. And so we can bring this balance of love to our lives and a committed love story, but it's for the Aries, sun, moon, and ascendants to look deeply within. You know, if there's a homesickness yearning, if there's a sense of need to forge something new, we have to do it from the epicenter of who we are. And this identity, our ascendant, it's not truly who we are, of course, but it is the character we're here to play. So every Aries, sun, and moon, and ascendant, you're here to be an initiator, to be bold and adventurous and daring, to swashbuckle, to be pioneering, to be courageous, to be that Aries fire. And sometimes we lose that fire. We forget that it's okay to be that, to be our Xena warrior princess and our Hercules type characters. So you all now, Aries folk, are trying to recapture the authenticity of that flame of goodness, a noble warrior archetype that you have within yourself. And then with that reclamation comes this potential for this new business partnership and new love story. Now, the energy of Mars kinetically in the 3rd house suggests that some of the momentum that Mars is doing as he breaks free of his, 2.5, 3 month ordeal stuck in the Kala Sarpa yoga. Well, the whole Kala Sarpa started December 30th with Venus moving into it from the South Node, passing through the South Node. Some of you Aries have felt really like your fire has been extinguished, right? It's been a really sloggy time. I certainly have felt it. You don't know where your initiative is, where your gumption and drive is. You don't know where your daring do is gone. Trust me, I've been there. A lot of us are like, what's happening to us? Well, Mars was in prison. That's what happened. He's the ruler of our gumption. So now he's breaking free, but from the 3rd house. Skills-based educational directions, learning a new trade, learning a new skill, taking a class on something, trips and travels, siblings, okay? Seeing an oracle that give you great guidance. Oracles, diviners, and tarot card readers all belong in the 3rd house. And I argue that over and over again, but that is something Demetra George said in a really great teaching about the houses. And she's got her reasons. It has to do with the moon and its joy there. And I agree. When I have major transits to my 3rd house, I often encounter an amazing guide or oracle that really helps pivot my story. Okay, especially if Jupiter's transiting or Chiron, your 3rd house. All right, so keep that in mind. So, you could be taking a trip, Aries, or you could be talking with a sibling, or you could be, or a lifelong friend from childhood, or an aunt or an uncle. These are other 3rd house meanings, or consulting the oracle, or writing something. This is a house of writing. So momentum for writing. Yes, I've got this fiction book idea that I've been trying to get written for the last 6 months, but I've really been stuck. So now momentum from the house of writing and blogging and communicating. Social media platforms, I'm burning out there. Clubhouse, I actually quite like it. Maybe I'll just really fire more energy up around the Clubhouse story, but getting momentum instead of being lackluster and lackadaisical. Alrighty, so you get the gist. This is very much going to be about your 3rd house breaking free to support this kind of business partnership and connection. And these can be your clients too, but a more balance with your clients, right? That's the one I got to learn. Work smarter, not harder. Okay, moving on. Taurus, sun, moon, and ascendant. This is an energy of balancing in your health and wellness protocols, your exercise and food styles, also the work you're doing in the world, or the way you do the work you do, the routines and discipline and daily routines of work and health. And you're going to find this harmonious new balance, and you're going to forge it there because you're forging from the depths of your inner life, your dreams at night, your reverie, your meditation. This is also the place of where we have addictions that we should let go of, habits and patterns, and our choices, our attitudes, and the things we might want to ingest. So you're going to let go maybe of some of those, heal those addictive patterns. And it comes from a deep, deep place within us. This is more of the place of our it's a house of enlightenment, but it's a place, where we get those big dreams at night, those ahas in a meditation, these kind of breakthroughs within ourself that lead, in your case, to forging a new health and routine, a new wellness protocol, and even a new way of doing work in the world, right? The way that routines and means by which you do what you do in a more balanced way. If you're a student, which I always say, then the balance in your life between studies and other things that can bring more balance to your story. Now, you can also see that this wedge, which is very hard to see now because, of course, I'm moving the planets forward, but there is a wedge there. Kinetic momentum from Mars coming in the money house for you. So breaking through on a money story. Yay! More prosperity, more flow, but more self-worth and self-possession. Things that we put in our mouth and come out of our mouth are in the second house. Mars cuts away, and he's got momentum to cut out of your food style. I'm really thinking a lot of you Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant are going to change your food style because, this is a wellness house and this is an eating things house. So, you may decide to go gluten-free. You may decide to cut out nightshades. You might decide to become vegetarian. Some of you Tauruses are going to change your food style, but it's also a money house, and getting momentum in your money story because of your self-worth and your voice and your vocation are there as well is something that's going to likely output your clarity and directionality and improvement in the money and in the health and in the balance of your work and well-being in your daily life. Okay, that's a good one for you guys. Gemini, sun, moon, and ascendant. This energy of balance is happening in your natal fifth house, house of children, the house of inspiration, the house of sexual energy and love affairs and romance and all of that, and play. Did I say play? So for a lot of you Geminis, it's time to loosen up a bit. Now you're going to try to find a source of enjoyment in life. If you're a single Gemini, a love story could emerge. There's no doubt about it. And if you want to have a child, a moon in your fifth house to bring a child into your story, whether you're male or female, doesn't matter. It could be the birth of something. Moon is mama. And with the scales of justice, a karma baby. Now this combination of Venus, Volcanus, her husband, the homesickness asteroid, Leilua, Luca, Loma, Anna, whatever. It's all happening in your 11th house. Now Chiron's been traveling through your 11th house for a while. A lot of you Geminis are trying to find out what groups you really belong to. Are you stuck in a place that doesn't fit? You go to a church and you think you belong to the community, but it's dutiful and not joyful. Are you, some of you Geminis, just feeling out of touch with community and tribe? And that's a longer healing, but this moon can help you heal it. It could bring a new tribe to you that brings pleasure, play, fun, and enjoyment to your life. It's a money luck house. Play the lottery just for fun. Don't bet the bank on it. That just could be your karmic reward right now to win a little bit of a lottery or have some money speculation luck play out for you. Great financial gain, like ka-chinging, the rewards of your 10th house are the 11th, and because the 11th delivers the goods to the 10th. So possibly you could be having some really good career financial success emerge in the aftermath of this moon. And, looking at this sense of forging this success into areas of creativity, inspiration, maybe focus on your children or a love affair. I mean, maybe it's hard to put a love affair into financial gain from your career, but maybe taking time out to play with your beloved, take a weekend away or something. Now this energy here, kinetic energy, is in the house of your body and your identity. Mars is breaking free of that Kala Sarpa yoga jailbreak and giving you a new beginning in the house of your physical fitness, your body, how you think about who you are in the world, and you sense a refining of your identity. Now, Mars says cut away things. So cutting away things that don't fit. If you needed surgery for something, you've been waiting, and Mars is cutting out of the Kala Sarpa yoga in the house of your body. He does rule surgery and scalpels. It's a good time for that. Just be careful you don't injure yourself, but I don't know, because that's Mars also in the house of the body. But, the idea here is there's a momentum in your identity house, the house of you. So you could be making very powerful decisions and taking incredible, action right now. And then in the 28 days that follow to secure some of that money, luck, fun, play, pleasure, romance. Okay. And I hope I remember, I think I started with Leo. Yeah. Cancer, sun, moon, and ascendant. This is happening for you guys in this energy of this balance and this fruition of the fullness of the moon is happening in your house of home, house of mother, house of family of origins, ancestral line, where you live. So a lot of the cancers are looking at good energy in the base of the chart for you, where you're wanting to bring balance and harmony and peace and equalness to the home environment. If your mom's alive, the moon in the fourth house, you'll be having a connection with her to bring harmony and balance to your mom relationship. And if your mom's not alive, you might be dealing with the residue of the relationship and healing that as well. Chiron, the healer, the sun, Venus on her husband Vulcanus, the asteroid of homesickness in the house of career. What new career direction do you want to forge that's rooted in the depths of who you really are, in the bottom of the chart? That maybe honors the ancestral and maternal line in a way. What do you want to do in the world by your praxis or your action that by which you are recognized? Chiron up there says you're probably, some of you Cancer, sun, moon, and ascendants would recognize yourself as a guide, a healer, or a mentor. Okay. You'll also notice that the question of home will be important to you in the next 28 days. And some of you may buy a new home, because this is the scales of legal matters. So you may be purchasing and signing off on a new home or selling a home. And, with Chiron here, there's also still this idea of what is your call, your action, your praxis in the world? Are you a healer? I mean, Chiron has been in your 10th house since 2019, February, and will not be gone until 2027. So you're reinvestigating, are you Chironic? Are you a mentor, guide, and healer in some way for others? And then Vulcanus and Venus, are you trying to forge a new career direction? Are you trying to forge a new momentum in your expression in the world? And yeah, now of course Venus is a goddess of love, and she is involved in outpicturing some kind of goodness here, the moon. And so you could say a new love story evolving, but it has a deep connection to home and homeland and yearning for a home. I'm just going to plant that seed for you. Yearning for a true home, homesick for a home, that vibe. You could get involved in a love relationship that is going to relocate you or something like that. Now, the North Node and Mars in your 12th house, the kinetic breaking out of the Kala Sarpa yoga jailbreak. Mars is doing this in a deep inner house of your dreams at night, your meditations, your reveries, your inner life, your enlightenment house, your self-undoing, your addictions and self-defeating habits and patterns. So it's very subtle energy breaking through, because it's very much happening at a non-ordinary level, a very metaphysical and magical level of being, where there's this breakthrough. And, trining the node and sextiling Venus in this combination, a breakthrough in love, a breakthrough in purpose, a breakthrough in home, but coming from a deep, deep soul place within you. It's not on the surface at all. You might have a healing as well, metaphysical healing, and a big dream could come to you, or some kind of liberation could come, the house of liberation, moksha. So this is a very ripe 28 days that follow this, and gorgeous fullness. And some seeds that you planted back around mid-October 2020 are coming to fruition over the next 28 days. All right, guys, thank you for listening. I am now done, and I think I got through that in a timely manner without sounding like I was sprinting. I realized a couple of videos back, I sounded like I was racing to finish with you guys, and I apologize for that. That's my overwhelm mode. So thank you for listening. I do appreciate that you do come back. Please like, please subscribe, please share my videos, please comment. You know, all the deal. Please, please, please. I'm not begging, just asking. And check out my All Signs bundle below. It's now free. The link to get it, no even code needed. Just go there, sign up, and grab it. All of my videos, 12 times 60 minutes, are free. And you can apply that to your sun, your moon, and your ascendant. Okay, so it's good for looking at all of those in your life over 2021 year ahead. And I go into excruciating detail. Okay, ciao, ciao. Bye.